In this video here we'll be looking at rearranging equations and putting one letter on its own on the left hand side. Let's say we have the equation BEV equals mv squared over r. Now that is an equation that you'll meet in A2. It's to do with an electron moving at 90 degrees to a magnetic field and moving in a circle or in a curve, part of a circle. Now let's say we want E to be on its own on the left hand side. How would we rearrange that equation? Okay, so now first of all, if we've got V on that side and V squared on that side, of course V squared means V times V, so we can cancel that V out there and cancel one of the V's across there. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is we need to get E on its own. So if I write it out again, BE equals mv over r. Okay, I now need to divide both sides by b. So therefore BE over b must be equal to mv over r over b. Now that looks a little more complicated. Well, it does on the right hand side. Now the left hand side is easy. B divided by B is 1, so that leaves us with E equals what's here. Now that is a fraction divided by a letter. So what do we do? We do that single letter there. So what in fact happens in those cases there? The letter B here, or whatever it is, will go on the bottom to there, to leave that as E equals mv divided by br. Okay, now let's look at another equation. Again, a bit different to that one, slightly more complicated. Now let's look at the equation, another equation. In fact, this equation, in fact, you'll come across it in AS. So Young's modulus E is equal to force divided by area, all divided by extension divided by original length. And that letter X there, sometimes called little e, sometimes called delta L. But we'll call it X for extension for now. So Young's modulus equals, I sometimes stress over strain. Anyway, here we go, a load of jumbled up letters. So that's a fraction divided by a fraction. So now I want to write that in a more ordinary way. So it's just basically in the form of the idea of, say, some letters here, say A, B over CD, something like that, not fraction over fraction. So how do I do that? Well, what you would do in this case is the one in the top here will go into that space there, and one on the very bottom here will go to the top like that. So that could be written as FL divided by AX. Now you may be asking yourself, well, why does that work? Well, let's think about dividing fractions. Say we had a fraction 3/4 divided by 2/5. Now you may remember that the way we divide fractions is that can be simply written as 3/4 multiplied by 5/2, which equals 3 times 5 divided by 4 times 2. Well, what you're effectively doing is you're flipping and multiplying. Well, it's exactly the same here. So if we come back to here, that can be simply be written as F over A, so divided by X over L, times by L over X, which gives us FL over AX, and that is like that, FL over AS, exactly what we had before.